Hello and welcome to another Demon 212 Wii review. Which Wii review, however, depends on which video you've clicked, because basically this is just something I wanted to do for the Wii Motion Plus vids. Not all of them, just the three that should be going up today. Tiger Woods PGA Tour 10, Grand Slam Tennis and Wii Sports Resort. The whole point of me doing this is, in case you don't know what the Motion Plus is, it's this little thing. Which, to be fair, looks a lot bigger, but obviously I'm right up to the camera. But it's this little thing here. And the whole point is, you plug it in to there. Now, there is actually a 3-minute instructional video to how to plug it in, but if you need a 3-minute instructional video how to do that, then I apologise, go lock yourself into a white padded room, because you could very well be a danger to yourself and others. But, explaining it in a bit more detail what it actually does, when Nintendo announced the Wiimote, they said it was going to be amazing and just brilliant control-wise, and it wasn't. You had a lot of fanboys saying, oh it was, it's just you, but it wasn't. We knew it wasn't, the realists knew it wasn't. So sure enough, they said, well, we've got this to fix it. And part of me thinks that they planned this all along, because it's got two little grey hooks there that just so happen to fit right into the base of a Wiimote. It says to me that they've actually planned this since launch. But anyway, that's a quick explanation of what this actually is. It basically makes controls better and that's what this review is here for, to basically show you about the game and explain if it is actually better. To be fair, I actually think it does work. Anyway, on to the review. So anyway, at the start of tennis, you've got all sorts, and just like the golf game, I'm afraid there's too much to mention, so I'm just going to cover what I consider to be the important basic stuff really. You've got Play Now at the start on the menus, which is just basically like exhibition on the old sports games. You've got Grand Slam, which features all the stuff that you'd hope for it to feature, at least I don't think it misses anything out. But then again, I don't follow tennis religiously. I do quite like it though. You've got Online if you want to play online. You've got My Tennis, which is where you can create your own character and choose settings and stuff, and you can level your character up. You've got Get Fit, which is for those people who believe that playing games is healthy, which whole thing is just really laughable really. You've then got Party Modes, where you can play quick game or non-quick game. But before going to mention them, I'll mention the characters and the players, the sports people, because there's a ton of them. You've got a load of the greats, including Roger Federer, the greatest to ever play the game, undisputed, he is just brilliant. And then you've got some not so greats as well, like for example Andy Murray. But you've got some legends in there like Johnny McEnroe, who you've got to love Johnny McEnroe really. And you've even got a load of the women's players as well, including Maria Sharapova, who obviously comes with certain noises included. But this is the first party mode I want to show off, so I'll just cut past the loading before I explain it when I get into it really. So this is basically Triplets Point, and you do actually play tennis properly with a Wii Motion Plus, and I think it works really well. Just mentioning that now, to be fair, you do play it properly. You can play it with or without the nunchuck, so whether or not you want to be able to move your character like a proper game, or whether or not you want to be able to be forced to where it moves you like in the terrible Wii Tennis from Wii Sports. But you've got the Motion Plus, it works really well, and the whole point of Triplets Point is basically, it's 2 against 1, and the person on 1 plays under single court rules, and the person on 2 plays under doubles court rules. So it's madness, it's insane, and it's just really fun, and it's the type of thing that you're thinking, well, obviously the 2's going to win, but if so, then you obviously don't really know a lot about the tennis rules, because there's a reason why it's a fair advantage really. Well, not advantage, but a fair game. But anyway, that's just one of the zany modes. There's all sorts. There's things like Aussie double points, there's tag teaming, where you have to swap in and out. But the main part of the game is just proper, serious tennis, so let's show some off. So here we go then, some proper tennis. Although to be fair, not so much proper. I'm playing with a retired veteran against a current female player. So it's one thing I wanted to show off, that you can actually have male v female. It doesn't have any rules against that. And a lot of people may say that's unfair, but it's one of them things that play with whoever character you want to play as really. I've always thought that about any game. But basically, while it is quite simple enough to just choose Roger Federer and think you're going to be amazing because he's the best, every tennis player has a different play style, and it's the same on this. So really, you need to actually play as a few to find out which play style you prefer. For example, Sharapova over there is a defensive style player. But going back to the controls very quickly, there's basically 3 things you can do. You can flick left, flick right, flick up, or kind of a thrust forward type thing. Basically, that's all you can do, and you can hold A and B down for different shots, so you can do like lob shots and close shots, but it's pretty much everything that you'd actually want. So you've got like slices and stuff and backhands, so there's nothing really again missed out, although I do think that the controls could have been done a little better, because being right-handed, I naturally prefer to flick left. It's just one of them things that I find flicking right can be a bit uncomfortable, and being stupid, I'm currently flicking left and right when you can't see it and just messing up my serve, because obviously your serve, you've got to throw your arm up in the air and slam down. But it still plays really well, and it's one of them things that if you can just fight your natural instincts, then it's going to be okay. And to be fair, it only really becomes a problem when you start concentrating on it and start realising that you're flicking the wrong direction through force of habit, because I always flick that way to attack, for example, on something like Zelda, and then when you swap courts you realise that you're constantly going out. But for the most part though, it is just tennis. It's how you want it to be. I personally think it's one of the best tennis games to come out in years. I've always liked tennis games, but there hasn't half been some terrible games. This though, I think it's fantastic, and seeing as it's pretty much like the first in the franchise, I think it can only get better from here as well, but there's not really much I'd want them to change, because it is pretty much tennis perfection. In fact, to be fair, the only thing I really can think of them doing to improve upon for a sequel would be the zany games, because this one here is basically net points are worth double. But all of the zany games are all things that could happen in real life. They're all things you could do with real tennis. There's nothing there that like breaks physics and like breaks the rules of physics or the laws of gravity or anything like that. There's no power-ups or anything. So that could be the only thing they could really do. Kind of make an almost Mario Tennis spin-off type thing, not as a sequel, but as one of the mini games. So you could have like real tennis all the way through, but then one mini game you could have fast balls or fast serves or stuff like that, you know. Because I mean the controls are pretty much perfect, at least as perfect as they can be, because the Motion Plus does really help, but they're not 100% perfect yet. So what we're going to have to do really to get perfect controls is wait for the Wii Motion Plus Plus to come out, and maybe even the Nunchuk Motion Plus. But other than maybe tweaking the controls here and there with those and adding a little mini game like that, then I really can't think of much they could do to improve upon this. So there we go then, that's been the review. I hope you've enjoyed it, or at least found it helpful. You might have noticed I didn't score the game. Well, that's because it's a matter of personal opinion, and yours may very well differ from my own. I'm just here to show you a bit about the game. If you like it or not, well, that's up to you. If you don't like it, or you do like it, feel free to comment. Also, if I haven't answered any of your questions that you may have had, I might have forgot something, or it might just be something obscure. Again, feel free to comment, ask, always willing to help out. Otherwise, if you don't like commenting on YouTube, head over to www.vc-forums.com, where you can chat with me and a bunch of other lads who love the VC, the WiiWare, and hell, even a lot of other systems. We cater to pretty much everything. You can just go there, have a chat about a game, ask about some games, etc. So until next time, this has been Demon212, signing off.